What if I told you that the greatest hidden risk for a stroke after age 60 wasn't on your dinner plate or in a fast food bag? What if it was in your medicine cabinet disguised as something healthy? We're not talking about prescription drugs. We're talking about vitamins. Every single day, millions of seniors take them, hoping for stronger bones, a sharper mind, or a healthier heart. But what almost no one tells you is that for some, those well-meaning pills could be silently setting the stage for a disaster. One moment, you feel fine. The next, your world is tilted sideways. Your speech is gone. Your arm won't respond. It's a terrifying reality, and to help us understand the hidden triggers, we are once again with the man who has spent a century listening to the body's quietest warnings, Dr. Shigaki Hinohara. Doctor, thank you for being here to discuss this urgent topic.
Thank you, Ben. It is a topic that weighs heavily on my heart. We have been taught to think of the body as a machine with parts that need fixing. But that is a mistake. Your body is not a machine. It is a finely tuned orchestra. Nutrients are the instruments, and your body's innate wisdom is the conductor. A healthy meal is a perfect symphony, but a single vitamin in a megadose, that is like one trumpet suddenly playing a wrong note far too loud. It doesn't fix the music, it creates chaos.
Chaos instead of harmony. That's the perfect way to frame it. And that's our mission today, to hand you the conductor's baton so you can understand your own orchestra. In this video, we are going to expose 5 of those instruments, 5 extremely common vitamins that when played too loudly can dangerously increase your risk of stroke. But more importantly, after we show you the risks, we will show you how to lead your orchestra back to a beautiful, balanced symphony using real nourishing food. But first, we'd love to know, have you ever had a gut feeling, even for just a second, that a vitamin you were taking might not be 100% helpful? It's a simple question. Just type yes or no in the comments below. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the vital, life-saving information coming up. Doctor, let's start with the first instrument in the orchestra that often plays dangerously out of tune. It's one of the most popular supplements in America, taken by tens of millions, especially seniors. Vitamin D. People take it for bone health, for their mood. They call it the sunshine vitamin. But what if that sunshine, in the doses many people take, was secretly turning their flexible blood vessels into something more like brittle, calcified pipes?
That is a perfect description, Ben. The body seeks balance. Too little is a problem, but too much of a good thing can become a poison. We must respect that balance.
And the science on this is incredibly clear, but it's just not reaching the public. Here's exactly what happens. Your body requires vitamin D to absorb calcium from your food, which is good. But when you flood your system with a megadose, let's say 5,000 or 10,000 IU per day, without a diagnosed deficiency, your body is forced to absorb too much calcium. This condition is called hypercalcemia. With all this excess calcium in the blood, your body panics. It has to put it somewhere. So it begins depositing it in soft tissues, most dangerously, in the delicate linings of your arteries. Over months and years, this process, called arterial calcification, makes your arteries stiff and narrow. This not only raises blood pressure, but also creates a perfect environment for a blood clot to form and travel straight to the brain, causing an ischemic stroke.
I remember Mr. Walter so clearly. He was a 74-year-old retired Navy veteran, a man who believed discipline was the highest virtue. Every morning on his kitchen counter, he would line up his supplements like soldiers in formation. Among them was a 10,000 IU capsule of vitamin D. He was proud of this routine. He believed he was fortifying his body against the weaknesses of age. His wife told me what she found one morning. It was the confusion in his eyes, where there had always been such clarity. He tried to speak, but only slurred sounds came out. His right arm, a limb that had served him his entire life, hung limp and useless at his side. The stroke had arrived overnight without warning. In the hospital, his blood work showed calcium levels that were, in the doctor's words, alarmingly high. Mr. Walter thought he was strengthening the foundation of his orchestra hall, but instead he had turned the trumpet into a jackhammer, cracking the very walls from the inside out.
That is a devastating story, and it perfectly illustrates the risk of a stroke from a clot. But the next instrument, the next vitamin, can cause the opposite and equally dangerous kind of stroke, a brain bleed. Let's talk about vitamin E. It's often sold as a heart helper, an antioxidant that's good for circulation. But in high doses, it can be one of the most dangerous players in the orchestra for a senior on common medications.
Yes, many people believe if something is natural, it must be harmless. This is a profound misunderstanding. Nature is powerful, and it must be respected.
And here is the power of vitamin E that people must respect. In high doses, typically 400 IU or more, vitamin E acts as a potent anticoagulant. In simple terms, it thins your blood. Now think about how many seniors are already taking a prescribed blood thinner, warfarin, Xarelto, Eliquis, or even just a daily low-dose aspirin for heart protection. When you add high-dose vitamin E on top of those medications, you are creating a situation called potentiation. You're not just adding one effect to another, you're multiplying it. You are dangerously over-thinning your blood to the point where even the most fragile blood vessel in your brain can spontaneously rupture, causing a hemorrhagic stroke.
This reminds me of Mrs. Evelyn Brooks, an 81-year-old librarian, a gentlewoman who found her greatest joy in the quiet rustle of turning pages and the scent of old paper. She was on warfarin for a heart condition, and her levels were perfectly managed by her doctors. But one day, she saw an advertisement in a health magazine right next to a crossword puzzle. It promised natural circulatory support with a high-dose vitamin E supplement. "I thought it would just give me a little boost," she told me later. 3 weeks after starting it, she suffered a massive brain bleed. Her recovery was long and difficult, and her deepest pain was not the physical therapy, but the feeling of betrayal, the belief that her own desire to be healthy had, in her words, invited disaster in.
That is heartbreaking, and it's a critical lesson. It's clear that these interactions are a huge, often invisible, issue. We can't give medical advice here, but we can build a community of awareness. So without sharing any personal medical information, what's one thing you do to stay informed and safe with your health choices? Do you use a specific website, a health app, or maybe a simple notebook you take to doctor's appointments? Let's share some great resources and ideas in the comments below. Doctor, we've covered how certain vitamins can impact the blood vessels, leading to clots or bleeds. But the next instrument in our orchestra can launch a direct attack on the wiring of the nervous system itself. It's a vitamin frequently marketed to seniors for nerve support and brain health. Vitamin B6.
Ah, yes. This one is particularly tragic because people take it with the specific intention of helping their nerves, only to find they are causing the very damage they wish to prevent. The orchestra is playing a note meant to be beautiful, but at an unbearable volume.
Exactly. And the medical term for this is pyridoxine-induced peripheral neuropathy. Here's the crucial scientific detail. High doses of vitamin B6 don't just cause general damage. They specifically target and poison the dorsal root ganglia. These are clusters of nerve cells near the spinal cord that act as the command center for all sensory information: touch, vibration, position sense. This is why the first symptoms are almost never muscle weakness. The first symptoms are tingling, numbness, a strange buzzing feeling, or a sudden loss of balance. The feeling nerves are being destroyed before the moving nerves. It's a silent, creeping damage that many people tragically mistake for something else.
This was the case for Mr. Harold Jenkins, a 76-year-old retired truck driver, a man who prided himself on having driven millions of miles, on knowing the feel of the road through the soles of his feet. He first noticed a strange buzzing in his feet during long car rides. He blamed the car's engine. Then his hands started feeling clumsy when he tried to button his shirt. He blamed arthritis. It was only when he started stumbling on a perfectly flat sidewalk that a deep, cold fear set in. When he came to see me, he didn't talk about pain. He said, "Doctor, it feels like the connection is lost." He described it perfectly using our metaphor. He said it felt as if the delicate strings of the violins in his orchestra were being slowly frayed one by one. The music of his body was turning into static. The cause? A nerve support formula he'd been taking for 2 years, containing 100 milligrams of B6 per tablet. He was taking 2 a day. It was a slow poisoning, disguised as a remedy.
It's a devastating and all too common story. So that's a direct assault on the nerves. But our next vitamin, number 4 on our list, creates an even more deceptive problem. It doesn't necessarily cause a clot or a bleed. Instead, it can make the brain think it has a tumor, creating immense pressure from the inside out. Let's talk about vitamin A.
Another instrument that must be played with the softest touch.
Precisely because unlike B vitamins or vitamin C, which are water-soluble and flush out of your system, vitamin A is fat-soluble. Your body stores it primarily in the liver. As we get older, our liver function naturally becomes less efficient, so this buildup can happen faster and with lower doses than in a younger person. When too much vitamin A accumulates, it can lead to a condition that emergency room doctors dread called pseudotumor cerebri, which literally means false brain tumor. The pressure inside your skull increases, compressing the brain and optic nerves. The symptoms are terrifying and can perfectly mimic a stroke: severe headaches, blurred or double vision, dizziness, and even slurred speech.
I think of Ms. Dorothy Simmons, a 79-year-old piano teacher, a woman whose life was defined by harmony, precision, and the beautiful connection between her mind, her hands, and the 88 keys of her piano. She came to her doctor because of debilitating headaches. The musical notes on the page, once so clear, were becoming blurry. Her hands, which could once dance across the keys, began to feel clumsy and uncoordinated. Her family feared a stroke or a tumor, but the scans showed neither. They showed pressure. The tragic irony was that Ms. Dorothy was taking a daily multivitamin that already contained her full day's supply of vitamin A. But, wanting to protect her aging eyes, she had added a separate vision formula on top of it, unknowingly doubling her dose for years. A woman whose life was about creating harmony found her own body thrown into chaos by a simple pill. It is a lesson in the danger of layering supplements without understanding the total dose.
We have one last vitamin to cover, doctor. This one, niacin or vitamin B3, is often recommended by doctors to help with cholesterol, which makes it very confusing for patients.
Yes, a tool can be helpful in the right hands, but dangerous when we don't understand its full power.
That's a great way to put it. Scientifically, here's the risk with high-dose niacin. It can cause your blood vessels to suddenly open wide. This is what creates that hot red feeling on your skin, known as the niacin flush. But shortly after, those same blood vessels can tighten back up just as quickly. For an older person whose blood vessels may already be a bit stiff, this sudden cycle of stretching and squeezing is very stressful on the system. It can easily disrupt normal blood flow, which can lead to a TIA, also known as a mini-stroke.
This was the hidden problem for Mr. Frank Miller, an 82-year-old retired postman. He started having these strange episodes. His face would get hot and red, his heart would pound, and he'd feel dizzy for a few minutes. His family thought he was just having anxiety. His doctor thought it was a side effect from his blood pressure medicine. No one thought to look at the heart supplement he was taking, which had a huge dose of niacin.
So, doctor, we've talked about 5 popular vitamins that can cause serious problems when taken in high doses. It really makes you wonder, what is the right answer? Should people just avoid all vitamins?
The answer is not to live in fear of single vitamins. The answer is to start trusting the wisdom of the whole. The safest, most powerful, and most effective solution has always been right in front of us. It is real food. I think of Mrs. Margaret Wilson, a 73-year-old retired school principal. She came to me with a bag full of supplement bottles. She had one for her bones, one for her heart, one for her brain, a bottle for everything. But she felt foggy and off balance. We did something very simple. We put the pills aside and we replaced her handful of supplements with a plate of food built on one idea: harmony.
So what does a plate of harmonious food look like?
Imagine her dinner plate. On one side, we place a piece of grilled salmon. That provides the deep, steady melody for the meal, giving the brain the healthy omega-3 fats it loves. Next to it, we add a serving of a dark leafy green like steamed spinach. This is the bright, lively section of the orchestra, offering folate and magnesium to help with healthy blood flow. Then we add a scoop of brown rice. This is the rhythm section, providing slow, steady energy so the brain doesn't experience energy crashes. And finally, we add some color, a handful of blueberries or some bright orange carrots. These are the special notes that protect the whole system, the antioxidants. Do you see? On this one plate, everything works together as a team. The healthy fats from the fish help the body absorb the vitamins from the vegetables. The fiber from the rice keeps the energy stable. It is a symphony. No single pill can ever do what a simple, balanced plate of food can do. Mrs. Wilson said it best after 1 month. She told me, "I feel like myself again." She didn't need a new pill. She just needed real food.
Mrs. Wilson's story is so powerful because it shows us what a difference real food can make. It's not magic. It's just good sense. When you eat a balanced plate of food like the one Dr. Hinohara described, everything works together as a team. The healthy fats in the fish help your body absorb the vitamins in the greens. The fiber from the rice keeps your blood sugar and energy levels stable, which prevents that afternoon brain fog. You see, your brain doesn't want a massive dose of one single thing. It wants a little bit of everything, working in harmony. This is truly the best way to prevent a stroke naturally, by giving your brain the balanced support it was designed for. It's the foundation of senior brain health.
Our modern world makes us want a quick fix for everything. a pill for every problem. We have forgotten how to listen. We have forgotten that our bodies have their own deep wisdom, a wisdom that has been passed down for thousands of years. You are the conductor of your own magnificent orchestra. Taking a handful of random high-dose pills is like letting a stranger into the orchestra hall to bang on the drums and blast the trumpets whenever they please. It creates only noise and chaos. But when you choose to prepare and eat a simple, balanced meal, that is you, picking up the conductor's baton. You are choosing to lead your body with respect. You are choosing harmony over chaos. This is the most powerful form of self-care there is.
Choosing harmony over chaos. I love that. And as the conductor of your own health, the most important part of your job is to work with your trusted team. That's why we always want to remind you that this conversation is for information and to help you ask better questions. It is not medical advice. Please always talk with your personal doctor or your pharmacist before starting, stopping, or changing any supplement routine. They know your unique health history and can help you make the safest choices for your body. If this conversation has helped you look at your health in a new way, please give this video a like so that other people can find this important information, and be sure to share it with a friend or a family member who you care about. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel so you can continue to learn with us every week. And for our community discussion today, we would love to know, what is one simple food that always makes you feel good and brings a little harmony to your day? Let's fill the comments with some wonderful, simple, and healthy ideas. Thank you for your time and your trust. We'll see you in the next video.